Hi everyone, this is For the Love of Comics, and in this episode we'll be finishing off, for now, our look at Castle Waiting by Linda Medley. We'll be taking a very quick look at the collected editions of Castle Waiting at the 2 volumes published by Fantagraphics that collect all Castle Waiting issues so far. That's right, I said 2, which means one of these 3 is to be avoided at all costs. It's this one. We'll get to why in just a little bit. So we have Castle Waiting Volume 1, Castle Waiting Volume 2, and Castle Waiting Volume 2, the definitive edition. Let's start with Castle Waiting Volume 1. The Castle Waiting collected editions from Fantagraphics are hardcover books, which have been shrunk by a little bit from the original comic size. As these volumes contain about 18 or 19 chapters, the equivalent of 16 issues, this makes for a pleasant and manageable size at this thickness. It's firmly bound with embossing on the spine, handsome end pages and prelims, and is executed on this sepia-toned brown paper, which really accentuates the old-school fairy tale woodcut approach of Castle Waiting. The smaller size pages are not a problem to read at all because of the clear and detailed drawings and neat layout. Castle Waiting Volume 1 contains the 3-part prequel, The Curse of Bramley Hedge, as well as the 7 issues self-published by Linda Medley under Olio, plus the 4 issues published by Cartoon Books, and then 3 more issues that Linda Medley self-published after that. If you'd like a quick overview of every single issue and the publishing history of Castle Waiting, check out our Twisted History of Castle Waiting video linked above. So Volume 1 contains 19 chapters, which include 15 issues of Castle Waiting published under Olio as well as Cartoon Books, as well as 2 stories not published in the regular series. Chapter 11, Hook, Line and Sinker, was originally published as a 6-page color story in Dark Horse's Scatterbrain issue 1. And Chapter 12, Sweet Temptations, was originally a 5-page story included in a trilogy comic that Linda Medley, Jeff Smith and Charles Vess put out together while they were touring together. These 15 issues, including the prequel and the 2 stories, make up almost everything that was published as Castle Waiting before Fantagraphics started publishing it in 2006. This volume was brought out in 2006 to collect everything that had been done before, and Fantagraphics simultaneously started publishing Volume 2 in single issues at the same time. From 2006 to 2009, Fantagraphics brought out 15 issues of Linda Medley's Castle Waiting Volume 2. In 2009, however, Linda Medley went on break, stopping work on Castle Waiting for the foreseeable future. The story was not complete. In fact, the last issue at this point of time ended with a to be continued bar at the bottom. But by 2010, it had been 4 years since Fantagraphics had published Castle Waiting Volume 1. So they went ahead and collected every story that they had published since then into Castle Waiting Volume 2. However, there was a disagreement and a slight falling out with the author over the publication of this incomplete volume, which is why I think you don't see Linda Medley mentioned anywhere on this cover or on the back cover. In fact, the only mention you see of Linda Medley is here at the bottom of the copyright page, where in tiny font it says Castle Waiting is trademarked and copyrighted Linda Medley. And that's the only mention of her in this entire volume. Linda Medley did return some years later to Castle Waiting to add 3 more issues to the 15 Fantagraphics had already published. These 3 issues were added to the previous Volume 2 to bring out the 18-chapter Castle Waiting Volume 2, the definitive edition. This is the edition you want to get alongside Volume 1 to have the full story. It's easily distinguished by not just a different cover image, but by the fact that you actually see Linda Medley mentioned on the cover, on the spine, and elsewhere in this edition. So there you have it. Those are the 2 volumes you want if you want to have everything Castle Waiting published so far without the kind of disappointment and heartbreak that reading an incomplete volume like this brings. Avoid this. Get these 2 and you'll be all set. I'll put the ISBNs down in the description below, so make sure you're getting exactly these volumes to read Castle Waiting in its entirety. And that's all for this video, short and sweet. I hope you enjoyed it. Please leave your questions and comments below, and as always, thank you for watching.